Hello and welcome back to my bed again while the sun is shining in through my window all crazy. So I've been doing Carrie Fletcher's October Club thing, and the book that I read the first week is Of Bees and Mist. It shows up all backwards in my camera, I know. I only have the eyesight camera right now because I'm poor. Anyways, this book I have had on my shelf since about January of this year is when I bought it. I had a gift card for Barnes & Noble because I always get one or two for Christmas, and I was looking through their cheaper books and I saw the cover of that and it had an interesting sounding name, so I looked at the description and I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting, so I decided to buy it. But it was on my shelf for the longest time, looking all pretty and nothing more. And I finally decided to read it, and it was really good. Basically, the description was right. There's magic involved, but it's not like really intentional magic. It's more that the magic comes from people's wants and desires that just kind of becomes real. This girl grew up in a house where her parents didn't get along anymore after she was born, so the house was perpetually cold and dark based on their lack of love, and there was always mist surrounding the house. And she married this guy who, from the start, I was like, this is not the kind of guy you want to marry, you know? A guy who calls his mother Mama still and believes her word over everyone else's, which is especially bad if she is a professional liar. She should have run the other way, is what I would have told her. But she didn't, so she marries him, and there's like two other sisters to this guy, and she has all sorts of trouble with his mother because she wants to make her like a servant because she feels threatened by her. And then she goes back to her parents' house, and then they finally work it out so that they get a house of their own. Whenever they start a new business, and it's always jewelry because that's what the husband knew, it just gets better. Whenever they try to succeed, they do, which was a little funky to me. Oh, and I forgot to mention the girl's name. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's I think it's pronounced Merida. It's spelled like Merida from Brave, except that there is an I before the final A. So my guess is Merida. There are some odd names like that, like Merida, and her mother's name is Ravina, I think. One of the sisters of her husband is Paramony, and the other is Malin. But then there are some normal names, like her best friend was named Hannah, her father's name is Gabriel. The man she married was named Daniel. Anyway, unlike a lot of books that end with the marriage was about 100 pages in, and it just continues with their life and her having a son and not being able to have any more children after that, and then what the two sisters did, and basically by the end of it, she finally makes amends with everything that she needs to, but it's not like, your perfect happy ending. I marked out how many pages ahead of time I needed to read per day to read it all in the week, and I honestly had trouble not reading ahead of my allotted pages for the day. My book for the second week is The Hobbit, because that too has been on my shelf for a while, and I haven't gotten around to reading it. I've read the Lord of the Rings books, but I hadn't read The Hobbit yet. For week 3, I've bought The Casual Vacancy, so I'll read that when Carrie does. And then for week 4, I have The Distant Hours. I've had that on my shelf for a while, by Kate Morton. I've read another of her books called The Forgotten Garden, and that's totally one of my favorites. Anyway, ta-ta for now!